Hi, I'm David Draper, host of Cook with Cabela's, and here with me today is Jeremy Wanch. He's the brand partnership manager at Cabela's and actually a really good friend of mine. Jeremy and I have known each other for a long time. And years ago, he introduced me to something called Goose bits. I got a whole plucked goose here that we're gonna break down and turn into something that's amazingly delicious and will change the way you think about geese. Jeremy, what's a goose bit?
Goose bits are, you got your goose bit breast, you have your water chestnut sliced, you have your sliced jalapeno, you got your green onion, and then we also have bacon, which is a very key ingredient. We'll introduce that later, but those are the basic ingredients for goose bits.
Yeah, and the thing about goose bits is this is kind of like a base recipe. From here, run with it and experiment as much as you want. Once Jeremy showed me how to make them, I went home and I used pineapple and green pepper in mine. I know guys that use mango and they're really good. Pieces of cantaloupe work great. You can really change it, but there's two key ingredients you need, and that's a protein of some sort. We have goose today. I think we're gonna make some deer bits today too out of some venison. Duck works great. I call it the gateway duck, because people that don't like duck, if you give them a bite of a duck bit, they'll change the way they think about duck and they'll love it. We're gonna start breaking down this goose now, and then we'll get to the breast meat and start wrapping it up. All right, to get started on this goose, Jeremy, I'm gonna get my knife here, and the first incision I'm gonna make basically is down each side of that. They call that the keel bone or the breastbone. So I'm just gonna start with that. Nice sharp knife here. Fillet knife works great on these. You can use a boning knife, kitchen steak knife, but something about a fillet knife just really works. I'm getting down here on the, just basically follow, you kind of get in the rib cage and all that, and you can see that. Follow that keel bone there. Leaving a little bit more meat than I normally would like, but that, the wings on this bird were actually broke when we got them, so I don't have any wings to mess with. And you can do the same with the wings that you do with those legs, so. There's a little piece of shot in there, and that's the thing you can do too, is when you're cooking this, you can kind of just make sure you see some shot, and we'll dig some of that shot out too. I mean, this breast was actually pretty close to headshot, it looks like, because there's not very many holes in the breast. So there's that side. I actually like to get this piece too. You can sometimes get it off when it comes with the breast, but I call it the tenderloin, and it's great, man. I just throw these in the frying pan and they'll fry up, maybe a little soy sauce, and use it in a stir fry. It's a little more tender than the rest of the breast, but we'll also use it in a goose breast recipe or whatever. It's just another great piece of meat. Since I'm on this side already, I'll go ahead and start the leg too. And you just make a cut right there, kind of right behind that breast, and that whole leg quarter should pop down. And you follow that down, and you can see that ball joint in there, maybe. And it pops just like that. And once that pops, you can just kind of get your knife in there around that ball joint.
Another piece of shot.
Oh, another piece of shot there. And you'll have that nice leg meat. And that's what you can throw in the crock pot or in the oven with a little bit of moisture in a lidded pot and braise it. And it's just great meat. So.
Well, look how much meat's left there.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat. That's the thing. A lot of guys don't, they just don't know what to do with it.
Exactly.
And that's a great point, Jeremy. I mean, there's a lot of meat there. You got the leg and the thigh both. And you can separate the leg and the thigh too, but if you're just going to cook it up in a crock pot, you can leave it all together. So we'll do that. Then I'll get to work on the other side. All right, we've got our goose breast here. I've also got a sirloin roast off the rear hind quarter of a deer. This is a really good cut. It's fairly tender. You can cut into the steaks, but it's also great for these bits. You can make these deer bits out of them as well. So, Jeremy, these goose breasts are in really good shape. I know when I was cleaning them, I found like maybe one pellet or so.
Yeah,
yeah, they look really good.
Yeah, and it's kind of amazing because I know the guy that shot this goose, and usually a headshot doesn't really happen.
Oh yeah,
so
I've seen him shoot.
These are very well intact.
All right, yeah,
good
that's
job.
good. That's a great piece to cut with. We won't have to worry about any pellets in there as well.
Yep.
So. Why don't you show us how to cut them and how big is slices you cut those in?
So basically, when you start, you want to turn them widthwise, and you want to cut them along the width there, and I do about a ½ inch.
Okay, yeah. So you're cutting against the grain, and that way they're a lot more tender. If you cut with the grain,
right,
then the protein strands are longer. So against the grain is the way to go.
And actually, logistically, it works out with the bacon. So what we're going to take the bacon later, and we're going to cut that package in half. And as you cut these, they lay on the piece of bacon perfect. So it makes it a lot easier as you're wrapping.
Perfect.
So let's cut these widthwise, about a ½ inch, and you've already cleaned these up pretty well.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of the silver skin off. We can probably trim some of the other stuff when we get all the pieces cut, but it's pretty clean.
So as you see, it lays it out.
Perfect. Yeah, and like you said, it's about the same size pieces as half a slice of bacon. So.
And do you mind sliding the jalapenos down?
Oh no,
real quick?
I'll get these jalapenos over here to you. And we got some water chestnuts here as well, right?
Yep.
So.
And I'm just going to add the goose to the jalapeno.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
And just let them start soaking.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that way you're kind of marinating them a little bit.
Exactly.
Do you use any other marinades when you do this, or do you marinate them for a longer period of time?
You know, normally I just do probably about 3 days, but I mean, you could really do it the day of.
Yeah.
It's just kind of just the way I do them.
I'm going to go ahead and get started on this venison roast as well. I'll let you work on those. So about the same thickness, you think, Jeremy, on this roast? So
yeah, about 1/2 inch, 3/4. What we're going to do with
Okay.
that with those pieces later
Yeah.
is we're going to hammer them out with a meat mallet.
Oh, okay. So that makes it a lot more tender as well. So
Right.
okay. So I'll just work on these. Yeah, this is looking good, man. I can smell those jalapenos, and they smell tasty.
So actually, if you don't mind, just go ahead and cut those pieces in half.
Oh, okay. I can do that. Yep. So you're just slicing them in half
Yep.
like that. So
Just
you're,
like-
you're kind of making almost like a little medallion out of this sirloin
Exactly.
roast, and then
Yep.
you're going to hammer those down a little further. And there's a little bit of silver skin in here. We can trim that up, but I think I'm going to cut right along that silver skin, and it'd probably be just fine. So, and that hammer is going to tenderize the heck out of these
Right.
pieces of meat. So
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to go ahead and pound these out, I guess, Jeremy. So you just want to pound them a little bit?
Yep. Just get them flat on the one side, flip
All right.
it over, hit it again real quick, and you're mainly just really tenderizing.
Yeah.
them. Although that cut of meat is very tender.
Yeah, this
But-
sirloin should be pretty tender, but you break those meat fibers down a little bit.
Exactly.
So I'll just keep working on that.
And as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add. There's 2 ingredients. There's the wild game seasoning, which obviously the Cabela's wild game seasoning is fantastic.
Yep.
And then just the buttermilk ranch.
So you're throwing the buttermilk ranch in there right now?
Right on top of it.
Wow, that's crazy. But I believe you.
Let's go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Leave that one
Okay,
once.
you're about done. I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah.
get these mixed. And again with this, like the goose bits, you can let them soak for a couple days, but
Yep.
I mean, again, you can do it the day of. I mean, it's
I got you. Like I
as
said,
long as your meat is well taken care of,
Yeah.
it's going to taste great. And
like I said, I
Just
trust
extra
you.
flavoring.
I trust you. So, all right, there's the last one. All right, you got a little assembly line set up
yeah,
here,
I
it looks
got
like.
I got you a little workstation. So from there, we've got all the ingredients here, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of set little piles there.
Gotcha.
And then we'll just start building.
Okay.
So this is where I really need your help because it does take a little bit of time to wrap these.
Yep.
But having 2 people do it will make it move.
Yeah,
much
it'll go a lot faster. All right, why don't you show me how to wrap that first one?
Okay.
I'll learn from you, and then I'll get started.
So I'll do is just get a little pile of jalapeno and goose.
Yep.
Get some green onion.
Gotcha.
Throw it right there. You want to get your sliced water chestnuts. You can get whole water chestnuts, but man, it's so much easier just to get the slice. They're already done.
Exactly. Cost you 5 cents more and save you a lot of
easier.
headache and time.
Yeah.
So
So we'll just do the first one. So like I said, that cutting it widthwise,
That-
it's just
yeah,
a perfect
fit.
Perfect fit. Take your jalapeno, place it on there. Take your water chestnut, take your green onion. I just like to place it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, do it however you want, but
Yeah.
and then another great tip is you want to use round, not colored toothpicks. The colored toothpicks, they have some dye in it.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a good
and,
point. Yeah.
And then
the round ones are just a lot sturdier too. Those
Way
flat
sturdier.
ones will snap when you try to push it through there.
Exactly. So we'll just place those out there in front.
All right.
And obviously using bacon, what I like to do is I never just grab the toothpick container and throw it out here and just be sticking my hand in there. I'll make a pile. That way you don't
You're
ever
not cross-contaminating.
cross-contaminate. Yeah.
Exactly. If we don't use all these in this thing, we'll just throw those away
Exactly.
because they probably have a little bit of bacon grease
Yep.
on them.
So you just start that. You just start that roll.
All right.
And you roll it.
That's perfect. And then you're just using a toothpick to pin it down, and you're just trying to get all the way through it, I suppose.
Yep.
So.
And that's how you when you pile it up, you try to pile it so it just kind of compacts like that.
Gotcha.
And then when you run that toothpick, you're
Perfect.
good to go.
All right, and then we're just gonna put those in just a little bowl for a little while.
Yep.
We'll probably chill them as we make the next batch probably as well,
Yeah.
right? Just because you probably want to keep the stuff as much cold as you can.
Right.
It's great to do it in the kitchen if it's at a hot day, maybe try to do it where it's cooler because, like I said, this bacon gets slimy and stuff too. And plus you want to keep it at the right temperature so you're not getting any bacteria in there as
Exactly.
well. So,
Yep.
all right, I guess I'll get started as well. All right, we've got the grill heated. Jeremy, just how hot is the grill? I mean, how hot do you want it to start with?
It'll vary by grill, but I like to start my grill about 350, 400.
Yep.
For the goose bits, I mean, it's wrapped in bacon.
Flammable.
Bacon's very flammable, especially since we're cooking over propane.
Yeah.
You're cooking on a pellet grill, you're cooking on a coal grill, not a big deal.
Yep.
You're not gonna have a flare up, but
Okay.
I like to throw them on at 350, kind of get a gauge how the grill's doing,
Yeah.
and then you can go up and down from that.
From there, great. All right, let's
Okay.
get them started.
And then we're gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna place these on, and you've got the deer bits over there.
That's right.
David.
So deer bits are going on at the same time, right?
Yep.
So all right, well then I'll get them started. I'm going to go ahead and use my hands. They're a little messy, but
I just placed a double picked wrap on there.
Nice.
So I'm
We're-
wondering if
yeah.
that was yours. The extra jalapeno?
That might be the extra
Okay.
jalapeno one.
I'll make
so
sure I say that for you.
That's perfect. Keep an eye on that one. So.
And you can already smell it. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
and there's still one ingredient left to put on the,
Yeah, I know you have a
Goose
secret
bits.
ingredient. The first time I ever saw you use that, it kind of blew my mind, but it makes a ton of sense, and we're going to get to that in a second. But it's pretty cool once you see what he puts on here. We've already got a lot of stuff going on, but he's going to keep working on it. So, yeah, these are looking great.
so actually,
I tell you what, I'm getting hungry, and if you don't pull some of these
I
off
was
pretty
going to say,
quick.
we need to have some because I can't, I can't take it. So we'll pull these off, just a couple of them.
Okay.
Place them right here. And then we'll break out that secret ingredient, which I don't know how secret it is. It's just the last piece.
Yeah, and it's a genius move.
Because you want these to cool down. They are really hot.
Okay.
With that bacon fat and.
Gotcha. So you want to put that? Are you going to put that secret ingredient on while they're on the grill, or are you going to put them on
when
while
they're
they're on the? Okay.
You want to hit them. I'm going to go ahead and shut
Gotcha.
this. Go ahead and set this here. So the secret ingredient is honey.
Honey. I mean, when you
And
showed
it's-
that to me the first time, that's a genius move, and that honey kind of glazes it, caramelizes it a little bit. I do it sometimes while they're still on the grill. It makes a mess of your grill, but it caramelizes that honey, makes it a little crunchy. But it adds a whole different flavor profile. It's
Right.
amazing. It's a
It
genius
just adds
move.
one more thing to it.
Yeah, and we got a lot going on there, but we got spicy, we got crunchy, which I think is very important. You know, people talk about flavor. Mouthfeel is important as well. I can't wait. Get it over here.
So go ahead and do the honors.
Oh, that looks like mine that was extra jalapeno, so I'm gonna give that a try. Oh man. God, these
Be
are
careful, it's gonna be hot.
I know, these are gonna be good. It's gonna squirt hot oil right onto my tongue, but it's gonna be worth it. These things are wonderful, guys. I wish you guys were here. I wish you could smell it. I really wish you could taste them, but I'm not gonna share. That's so good. I love the way that water chestnut crunches. They don't add a lot of flavor, but it just adds that crunchiness, and that's just something different that you're not gonna get.
And if they're not too overly hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and have another one.
Yeah, I think you should probably have a couple. Now, Jeremy, you have a couple young kids. You said your daughter Maisie. How old is she now?
She's almost 3.
Almost 3, and you said she's a carnivore.
Absolute carnivore.
All right, that's great. Do you think she'd like one of these?
I know she would.
Maybe we should get her out here and have
We
her try
definitely
one.
need to try it.
All right.